Jane, I do believe you found somebody else here at PRONI that can help us with our research.
Yes, indeed. We have the luxury of running into Jayne McGarvey this morning. Jayne, very quickly, what's your job here at PRONI?
Well, I'm a curatorial, so usually I respond to queries and help people whenever they're in trouble.
Okay, we've been looking at the school records this morning for Pomeroy. Now, I know in the other interesting collections we have some vaccination records. Could you tell us a little more about those and what they can do for people?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're very interesting because obviously the school records, it's very difficult to get ones further back than, say, the 1860s, 1850s. And the vaccination records basically will help get some information on births and before universal civil registration began, the registration of births, deaths and marriages in 1864. So if you can find, but I'll talk around this. The vaccination registers begin about 1863-64, and they were administered by the poor law officers in every workhouse district. PRONI has a tremendous collection of workhouse registers. It's probably the best collection as a unity in Ireland, because a great deal of trouble was taken to collect all this material. Now, some of the workhouse districts are more deficient in records than others, and that's just the way things happened. But some of them are tremendous. You can get, and the vaccination records, I was thinking of them when you were looking at the school registers because it's of a sort of a similar date. The vaccination registers begin about 1863-64, and what is happening then is that people are usually bringing their children in for inoculation and vaccination, and the children could be anything from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you'll get their names, the names of their parents and their ages. So in effect you'll get a date of birth. In areas where anybody was vaccinated, you'll get a date of birth going back maybe up to 7 years previous to 1864, so previous to the normal birth certs. Yeah. So it's very, very valuable. Now we don't have a complete collection of vaccination records, but we have some very, very useful ones, and it's always worth checking them out.
What areas do they cover, Jayne?
Well, I couldn't tell you offhand because now we have a very good coverage of most of the workhouse districts. As it happens, we have in most workhouse districts, we have the vaccination registers for 2, 3 or 4 out of about 8 or 9 dispensary districts. So we don't have, in each workhouse districts where a vaccination register has survived, we don't have complete registers. But these districts are quite extensive, and you know they're quite, just like the school registers, you're going to get names and ages and parents' names for going back further than the
yes.
state registration. So it's very useful.
Another tool for our research.
Yes, it's another way in for a few areas to pick up those. Like we had a few before civil registration, and we had a lot of children born post-registration who were not given a name on their birth register. So it can sort out which child is which within a family.
Okay.
And listen, it's very valuable that way. Thank you very much.
No problem.